Before 2015 even reached its halfway point, many fans were already calling it the best year to be a Dragon Ball fan. And when you look at just everything that's happened in the franchise, it's very easy to see just why people would be so happy looking back at 2015. In the three areas Dragon Ball has always predominantly been in, video games, animated TV series, and animated film series, we got major and fairly successful releases in all three of them. In the video game landscape, we got Dragon Ball Xenoverse, a new game from the developer Dimps that received good critical reception both in and out of Japan. It sold 2.5 million copies and made hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide. We got a brand new animated series in the form of Dragon Ball Super, which is on its 25th episode, and we're all watching it week after week, for better or for worse. But those all pale in comparison to a particular release that came out in April of 2015, an animated feature film that will be the focus of this particular video series. Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, or as it's known in Japan, Doragon Bōru Zetto Fukkatsu no F, is the 19th Japanese animated feature film based on the Dragon Ball series and the 15th of those films to carry the Dragon Ball Z branding. It was theatrically released on April 18, 2015, and is the first Japanese film to be screened in IMAX 3D and to receive screenings at 4DX theaters. The film received worldwide release both in its original Japanese language and in localized dubbed versions, the most significant of which was Funimation's English dub, which received a limited theatrical release in North American theaters from August 4th to August 17th, 2015. It was directed by Tadayoshi Yamamuro, longtime series animator and character designer, composed by Battle of Gods and currently Dragon Ball Super composer Norihito Sumitomo, and was written, quote-unquote, by original series author Akira Toriyama, with his second time supervising a Dragon Ball-related film following Battle of Gods. The basic premise of the film marks the return of the iconic series villain Frieza, back from the dead and hell-bent on exacting revenge on Goku after spending over a decade in the cheerful bowels of the underworld. Only Dragon Ball, folks. Only Dragon Ball. The film was produced on a budget of $5 million and has gone on to gross over $62.9 million worldwide, making it the ninth highest-grossing Japanese animated film of all time. This, coupled with the film's positive critical and fan reaction, has made it a smash hit all across the board and a major contributing factor in the creation of the latest Dragon Ball animated series, Dragon Ball Super. The primary purpose behind the creation of this video series is to take an analytical approach to why Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, character-wise and thematically-wise, does not, in my opinion, work. I will be focusing on three major players of the storyline, Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza, and where their characters are at the beginning of this film, where they are at the end of this film, and do their arcs, personalities, and choices make sense within the context of the greater Dragon Ball universe and what they've already gone through. This will not be a video series that will be focusing on why the animation is good or bad, or why the music is good or bad, or any of that stuff. This is a series primarily focused on examining the three major characters in the film itself, and to explain why, in my opinion, I don't feel that the film does them any justice and actually serves to either regress or hurt their standing amongst, Dragon Ball characters. However, in the final concluding chapter, I will mention things such as the fighting choreography, the music, and the animation, and give you my thoughts there. But if you're someone who's expecting me to go into big, long tirades about why Shisami versus Piccolo doesn't make sense, or why Gohan being a Super Saiyan is total bullshit, please don't. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not interested in talking and debating my subjective power level list against your subjective power level list to figure out whose worthless fucking headcanon is slightly less worthless than the other one. As I have already stated, this will be an analytical approach to examining the characters of Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza as we see them in this film. The only power-related thing that I will actually be talking about is Frieza's strength gain, and not in the way of, oh my god, it's impossible that Frieza could get this strong. No, I will be taking his power increase and look at it from a character perspective. What does that do for his character? Does it help him? Does it hurt him? That kind of way. So please, if you're going into this expecting me to ramble on and on about power levels, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Ultimately, my goal with this is to show why I believe that the film, character-wise and story-wise, for the story that's just barely there, doesn't make a whole lot of sense and doesn't particularly work, and why it utterly fails in my eyes as a sequel to the Great Battle of Gods. Now, I'm not going to be 100% negative 100% of the time, because there are actually a lot of things that I do enjoy about the film. And when we get to things like animation, like the soundtrack, like the fighting choreography, I will give credit to the film where credit is due. But when it comes to everything else, narrative-wise, substance-wise, this is a poor entry in the Dragon Ball franchise, and hopefully I get to convey my emotions, my thoughts on it properly to you guys, and to hopefully get into some interesting debates with you all. If this video has caught your interest, please comment, rate, or subscribe down below so that you can keep up with the series, and hopefully I make sure not to screw this up, because this is a topic I feel particularly strong about, and considering the fact that I've spent the better part of a year just endlessly talking about it and debating about it, I want to close this little chapter in my life as a Dragon Ball fan in a quality manner, and hopefully with a bang, and I hope that you all can partake in it with me.